In rural Maryland, an hour-and-a-half drive from Washington, Bill Mason is tilling his fields to plant organic maize and soybeans. About 2/3 of his 340 hectares are organic, but not all of them. And he says that bothers some people.
There's some die-hard organics, they think every organic farmer should not be planting any conventional.
As both an organic and conventional farmer, Mason sits right in the middle of a long-running debate over how best to feed the world. Critics of conventional farming say excessive fertilizer use pollutes waterways, kills fish, and contributes to climate change. Customers will pay a premium for food produced without pesticides and fertilizers. But Mason says his organic crops typically do not produce as much.
We are finding that our corn yields are about 3/4 of the yield of a normal conventional crops.
With those lower yields, feeding the world organically would require clearing more land for farms, says Columbia University soil scientist Pedro Sanchez.
We'll have to get more land into cultivation to do it that way, with horrible, negative ecological consequences.
Experts say deforestation to make way for agriculture is already contributing to climate change and a loss of biodiversity. And farmers will have 9 billion mouths to feed by mid-century, which puts agriculture in a difficult position, says U.S. Department of Agriculture researcher Michelle Cavagelli.
Right now, we can't feed 9 billion people with the ways we're farming, whether it's conventional or organic.
So experts are working on both sides of the equation. Cavagelli is working to improve the productivity of organic farms using natural fertilizers like chicken manure. The trouble, he says, is that often it does not provide enough nutrients.
We need to improve all systems. And so what's the best way to do that? Both to feed the world's population, but also to do it in a way where we're not destroying the planet.
Many of the African farmers Pedro Sanchez has worked with have used synthetic fertilizers to triple their yields, making a huge difference in their food security.
But as a scientist, I don't like that as the solution, and I will not preach it as the solution. I want to integrate that with organically produced nutrients.
Organic nutrients such as fertilizing cover crops have worked out for Bill Mason. He says his conventional farming neighbors are taking notice.
But I think there's ideas that we're using that are carrying over to the conventional world.
So many experts say feeding a world of 9 billion will not be a choice between organic or conventional farming. They say it will take a blend of both. Steve Baragona, VOA News, Ruthsburg, Maryland.